come. Please number 7. It was a massive up.
Tales of wonder.
Right? Different things you do.
IQRA Kids TV. Welcome to IQRA Kids TV, Ramadan Special.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to IQRA Kids TV Ramadan Special. I hope you're all well, inshallah. And how is your fast? Or how are your fasts going? How's your fast going?
Fasting is going well, alhamdulillah. I
Yeah.
hope you guys are enjoying it as well. You know, this is the time to really try and absorb everything about Ramadan, the barakah, the family, the food, obviously, and try and make the most out of it. That's why, you know, when we're in the studio, we try to think of some really cool things for you guys. But sometimes we leave things out. So if you want us to do something, why don't they do this or why don't they do that? You know, just drop us an email, info@iqra.tv, and we'll try and sort it out by the end of Ramadan. Is it possible?
It is possible.
It is
Anything's
possible.
possible, inshallah.
Exactly, but especially when we're on the case, you know what I mean? Right, guys, so we are going to continue with our usual features here on our show. Right, Auntie Kay, what's up first?
First of all, a reminder, I suppose, what's on the show. For example, we
Oh.
have the Ramadan Art Studio, Let's See the World, Muslim Heroes, Tales of Wonder, my famous Ramadan calendar. What else? Special guests.
Special guest, inshallah. We're
Can we tell
working
them
on
who's
that.
coming in?
Not yet, no, because if it doesn't work out, they're going to go, hey.
Okay, fair enough.
inshallah, but yes, very, very talented young men, alhamdulillah. Right, so guys, should we get into it? We've got part 3 of our Ramadan facts.
اللهم أهل علينا شهر رمضان بالأمن والإيمان والسلامة والإسلام.
You can express well wishes for Ramadan by saying Ramadan Kareem, have a generous Ramadan, or Ramadan Mubarak, which can translate as Happy Ramadan.
That was very nice, Auntie Kay. I thought you were going to turn to me and say Ramadan, but you didn't. Anyway,
No, I didn't. I'm not too sure because there's always that thing where people say, should we say Ramadan Mubarak or should we say Ramadan Kareem? And so which one are you?
I'm easy. Either one, I'm happy as chappy. After the last day of Ramadan, Eid al-Fitr, the greeting changes to Eid Mubarak. And that concludes our 3-parter Ramadan facts.
That was a bit quick, no?
It was quick. That's what I'm saying. Ramadan is going quick, so it has to be quick. Right, guys, it's going to be our Ramadan calendar.
Okay, so here we go. Everybody at home, ready?
What about me?
Oh, come on then.
She always leaves me out. It's not nice.
Come on then. 1,
Now?
2.
Now?
No. 1,
Now?
2, 3. Ta-da! The Ramadan calendar. Okay, and so today's topic is, ready? 1, 2, 3. Mosque.
Mosques, cool and groovy. A mosque is a place where Muslims gather to worship. Mosques have been a central part of Muslim communities since the early days of Islam. What are the functions of a mosque, you might be asking yourself? Well, the mosque serves a variety of roles in the lives of Muslims. Its most important role is as a house of prayer. Muslims often visit the mosque to participate in prayers with large groups. Mosques also provide religious education, local charity, and a meeting place for Muslims to have religious discussions. Who leads the mosque? Mosques are often led by an Islamic leader called an imam. Often mixed up with the word iman, isn't it? But it's imam. The imam sometimes leads the prayers, especially the Friday prayer, and is responsible for the religious guidance of those who attend the mosque or the masjid. Minarets are towers that are often built as part of a mosque. They are used for calling Muslims to prayer. 5 times a day, each day, a man called a muezzin issues a call for prayers from the minaret. Minarets come in a variety of styles and shapes, but they are generally tall and narrow towers. The prayer room. Mosques have been a room set aside especially for prayer. This room has a wall facing in the direction of Mecca. There is usually a niche in the wall called a mihrab to indicate the proper direction. The Muslim worshippers then face towards this wall when they pray. There generally isn't any furniture or chairs in the prayer room. Worshippers use prayer mats to kneel on while praying. The mimbar. The mimbar is a raised stand where the prayer leader or imam leads the prayers or delivers a religious message, known as a khutbah. Decorations. Some mosques are elaborately decorated with tiles and carpets. There are no pictures of people or animals in the decorations. However, to make sure that idols are not worshipped in the mosque, instead the decorations use repeated geometric designs, scrolling leaves and flowers, or words from the Quran written in calligraphy. What about the women's area? Depending on the mosque, women and men may worship in different areas. Sometimes the mosque will have a separate prayer room or area where women can pray. What about famous mosques? There are many famous and historic mosques throughout the world. Here is a list of some of the most famous. Number 1 is Al-Haram Mosque, located in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. This mosque is considered the most sacred mosque in the world and is the home to the Kaaba. Muslim pilgrims from around the world visit this mosque each year as a part of the Hajj or pilgrimage. Mosque number 2, Al-Nabawi Mosque. This mosque is the second most sacred of the mosques and was built by the Prophet Muhammad in Medina, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, in Saudi Arabia. And mosque number 3, Al-Aqsa Mosque. Located in Jerusalem, this mosque is part of the Temple Mount and sits near the Dome of the Rock shrine. Interesting facts about mosques. The tallest minaret in the world is the minaret at the Hassan II Mosque in Casablanca, Morocco. It is 689 feet tall. Cleanliness is important to Muslims when they worship. There is usually an area in the mosque where visitors wash and remove their shoes before entering the prayer room. The capacity of Al-Haram Mosque is said to be increased up to 4 million people during the Hajj. The Al-Nabawi Mosque is also called the Prophet's Mosque. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, actually worked on the construction of the original mosque. The word mosque is the English translation of the word al-masjid, which means place for prostration. And that concludes the topic for our Ramadan calendar today.
The Adventures of Power Lad. Every life matters. No one knows how Khalid got his powers, but it was after an odd night in Ramadan that he woke with amazing abilities. Khalid Kent was asleep in class one day, dreaming about which computer game to play. He heard a car skid. It would be a pity. If I don't do something quick, it will hit that kitty. The cat was so happy, she didn't see the danger. A few seconds more and the accident would be major. With little thought and quick reaction, Khalid sprang into action. With his powers he could see with his eyes. In a few more seconds he could save 2 lives. A speedy change and I'm on my way, once again to save the day. A blur of motion and without a cheer, Khalid was gone and only Power Lad was here. He flew so fast. He saved the kitty, shame about the car, but any true hero saves lives in the city.
Ibrahim?
Yes?
I hope you're not riding this bike with your eyes closed again.
Yeah, I just don't like this countryside.
Yeah, but you know what happens if you do that, don't you? No, what will happen? Well, we might have a nasty accident. No, we won't. Well, look at that, eh?
What?
I told you we're gonna crash.
I suppose it makes sense, innit? I suppose
you should start riding the bike with your eyes open, it, yeah?
I suppose so. Right, it's time for the Random Art Studio. Right, guys, as promised, what I want to do for this session, and Auntie Kay is going to help me a little bit, I want to review and just quickly go over some of the pictures we've done before. And who knows, you might even have missed those episodes, so it's probably just as well we go over it. Now, I'm looking at the pad that I use, and I don't think this is the first one we've done, but this is what I've got, okay? Now, we're going to review 3 or 4 today, depending on the time. And these are going to be examples of sometimes you start something and you don't have enough time to finish it, okay? So the first one I'm going to talk about is this fighter plane. Now, just to inform Auntie Kay, because she might not be used to what we do, we have a random spinner with different items on there, and we spin it, and whatever it falls on, we draw. Now, I tried to put on the random spinner things that I don't normally like or would normally draw to give ourselves a bit more practice in drawing things that we don't normally are into.
Yeah.
To expand our repertoire of skills,
Challenge.
yes, and to give ourselves a challenge. So on there was a plane, and I normally go on Google and find a picture of a plane, a vector picture, and this is what I've done. Now, I don't know if you can tell, Auntie Kay, but there are no pencil lines on this.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Okay? So what I'm trying to teach the kids is to improve their accuracy. We just get the marker straight away and go right on the paper and draw it straight away. So any mistakes you see, you have to live with it, okay? On this picture, I remember when I drew this picture, I made several mistakes. But let's see if Auntie Kay can pick them up.
But then you can change those mistakes into corrections.
Exactly. So you might say that was a mistake, but it actually wasn't.
That's a mistake, maybe?
No.
No? Okay,
No.
Here's a mistake.
No.
Oh, come on.
The fact is, most of it didn't come out the way I wanted it to come out.
Okay.
But the point I was saying before is that 1, we're not human photocopy machines. 2, if somebody who doesn't know the original looks at it, they wouldn't assume that there's mistakes in it, unless you ask them to pick up mistakes. But you'll just take it for what it is. So we try to get them to be a bit more confident and just draw straight away. Because if you have a pencil and a rubber, you're going to have that in the back of your mind. If I make a mistake, I can just rub it off, innit? But with this, with a marker, you can't rub it up. So you have to be more careful, more focused, and more zoned in on what you're doing. Now, we did that with a blue pen. Thank you. With the blue pen, and I did some coloring in as well. So we're doing 2 things. 1, we're talking about pinpointing accuracy in terms of being able to draw with a minimum amount of mistakes, okay? Then we talked about coloring in and a bit of shading. For this particular picture, we use mixed medium. For all of our pictures, we use mixed medium. What does that mean? The medium is the thing you use to color something in. So you can have gouache, you can have oils, you can have acrylics, you can have all different types. You can have markers, you can have coloring pencils, you can have just regular pencils. And we use primarily coloring pencils and markers. And if you just feel there, that white line there, it's got a bit of a rough edge to it because we've got these pastels. And to be honest, our friends at home would know that the pastels haven't been great for us, actually.
Okay.
So I've only used the white to act as a bit of a highlight in some places. You can see it up here and there. And using that as a highlight and using the mixed medium to try and get something out of it. So this one, as I said, I didn't finish it, but you can see I had an idea of where we wanted to go. Right, guys, so let me just show you another one that we did. This one's a cute one, right? This is a dinosaur, right? This again was on the spinner, and we just wanted to just draw a dinosaur. And again, I took so much time. I was being so careful with the green marker to get the shape. I ran out of time, and by the time we started to color it in, I thought, oh my gosh, it's so long now. We decided to not complete it. But you can kind of see where I was going with the coloring in. Now, one of the things I'm also trying to get them to understand is that even though you find sometimes you see a picture online, you think, wow, that is so cool. But when you start to draw it, you realize it's more complicated than you initially thought, okay? That's one thing you need to keep an eye on as well. Think about how you're gonna actually draw it. Don't just think it's really cool and then get disappointed later on when you realize it's too complicated. Think about it first. How am I gonna draw this? How am I gonna draw the leg? How am I gonna draw this? Think about that first. Second thing is that just because you draw something, as I said for the previous picture, we're not trying to turn you into human photocopy machines. And I think a lot of kids are under the impression that what they draw, if they draw what they see, it has to look exactly like it, and it doesn't. Now, using it as a principle, I've decided to add some colors to under his neck and around his head and his chin. Can you see his bubbly cheek?
Yeah.
That's not in the original. The original is just flat green.
Yeah.
So I started to elaborate and bring the picture a little bit more to the front.
I really love the fact that how a little shading goes a long way in that sense.
Yeah, you sound like an advert for tea or something.
It did actually.
A little shading goes a long way.
So so it brings out the picture. You know, even before when I said about the hijab, when you had those lines, just brings out a picture, just adding little detail.
Yeah, thank
Attention
you.
to detail is the same.
Alhamdulillah. So again, but my ability to do those shading is based on like years of experience of drawing things. I don't know if I've got any artwork here. This is not really qualified, but it's just my experience of looking at objects, trying to figure out how the light affects it. How does the light curve around it? How does the shadow join it? And that's what gives it its volume, its mass, and it makes it look like it's a three-dimensional object. So you can see I've tried to do that here. I've got a hard line, and then I'm slowly fading it in to his face. I would have done more, but as I said, we kind of ran out of time. Right, I said we do about 3. Let me just do one more.
And then you have someone's artwork to show.
And we've got someone's artwork to show as well.
Some more artwork
Right,
in.
let's go to one that is a more kind of completed one. We had to get somebody for marveling, you know what I mean? Like, right, of course, this needs no introduction. It is Spider-Man.
Really? I thought it was Power Lad.
It's Iron Man. I said Spider-Man deliberately to see what you'd say, but she didn't even pick up on it. Of course, it's Iron Man's helmet. Again, it was on the spinner. I put it on there, you know what I mean? And we did this exactly the same way, except this time we used the grid system. The grid system, I might have to explain that all over again because sometimes I know I say it to kids, I say it 2 times, 3 times, and they still don't quite get it, which is not normal. Many things I've been taught, I've had to have it explained to me over and over again before it clicks. But the grid system is just a way of mapping out where different items or different parts of the item or different parts of the object fall within the grid system. And using that as a reference point, you can get a more accurate renditioning of the image that you're trying to draw. Again, mixed medium. I used a bit of mainly the black color of the outside was done with the markers and the coloring pencils and some felt tip pens just for some of the thicker colors and start to give a bit more sheen with the white there as well and some of the highlights on the thingy there. Right, I don't want to spend too much time on this one because we do have some artwork from one of our very, very talented viewers. Let me pop my glasses on. Right, this is Mariam, age 13. Now, if you remember a while ago, we did have a very geometric landscape. It was a landscape, but somebody drew it in a perspective looking down at the buildings. I don't know if you remember that. But this does remind me of that very, very much. Okay, you can see this person, Mariam, has taken her time to make sure that all the lines are very clean. That is, you just think it's just a line. I'm telling you, some people can't do that. It's very difficult. Not just the straight lines, but these curved lines as well. You see, when you use a ruler, it's set.
I just picked that up. It doesn't seem as if she's used a ruler.
It's like she used a template or something. When you use a ruler, that is there. Anybody can do that. But when you use freehand and it looks like it was done with a template, you know, a template is like those shapes you can get and you can just use it to curve in it. Yeah. It looks in terms of the thickness of the line, it's the same. And that adds to the geometrical and kind of constructive look of the entire picture, which is really awesome. So I just wonder what the original looked like. Not that it matters, because I'm taking this picture for what it is. It's just a fantastic piece of artwork. That, again, I do wonder though, what would it look like if she colored it in? Because drawing it is one thing.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know sometimes we draw things and we say, oh, I don't want to color it in because I'm going to mess it up, right? So it would have been interesting to see if she was brave enough to go that step further and start to color it in. And one of the reasons why, when I was growing up, why I got into watercolor is because when you do watercolor, you do light washes. Okay. So if you make a mistake, it's easy to just to rub it off or to kind of wash it out. If you just water, you can just wash it out. So that's one of the reasons why I went into watercolor and then slowly began to go into gouache and acrylics and then later on airbrush. So that would be interesting to see what she does. I can see she tried to give the impression that the masjid is being reflected in the water, right? She's done something that I never encourage kids to do, which is I might be wrong, look like she's used her finger to smudge it. Okay. Okay. I personally, I know it, some people can do it, but I don't like smudging because I think it's too uncontrollable. And I don't know, but it looks like she might have lost a bit of control because the lines are just fading off here. It's just kind of and she's gone over the reflective lines of the masjid, and then I can see she's done some lines to try and emulate the ripples of the water, okay? So I think she should have spent a bit more time thinking about the ripple, because this way upwards is awesome, but downwards, because it looks smudgy, it looks like it's been smeared, it's not on the same level as this. And I know it's probably an afterthought, and I know after doing all that, she's probably knackered. Right? I get it. She's like, I use all my mental energy just to get those lines there. So at the end, I thought, let's just do it quick. I understand that, and that's fine, that's fine. Everyone goes through that from time to time. But the point of being an artist and to hone your skill and to get better is to try to be disciplined, to carry that discipline all the way through. If you're not confident about doing the bottom part as well as this part, leave it. Just leave it until maybe, you know, you feel like doing it. And even then, get a separate piece of paper, experiment on that piece of paper first, look at the wavy lines of the water and try and figure out how it works and experiment with it first. If you feel you've done a good test on the scrap piece of paper, then do it on here and try and emulate what you did on your scrap piece of paper. But I know but see, that's what I'm saying about using the markers. With the markers, you can't experiment. You have to go straight in and get it as right as possible first time off. And with this as well, she's done a great job, because I don't see a lot of corrected marks.
Exactly.
I can see one here, maybe one here, over here, but there doesn't seem to be a lot of rubbing out going on, which is very encouraging to see that she has a lot of confidence in her ability to draw these geometrical shapes and lines. So out of 10,
drum roll, please.
I'd have to give her 8.5.
Okay.
I'll give her 8.5. Well done, Mariam. Again, we're going to take a photo of this and put it on our Instagram page as well. And guys and gals out there, you can have your artwork featured on our show.
Certificate for Mariam.
And certificates as well. You can have your artwork featured on the show as well. All you need to do, the quickest way is just to DM me on our Instagram page, IQRA Kids TV. Just DM me, say, hi, this is me and this is my age. Tell us a bit about yourself, and we'll put it on the page and we'll also feature it on the show. And of course, these certificates,
Yeah.
Auntie Kate?
Yeah, definitely. You'll also get these lovely certificates.
Yeah, we will fill it out and all that as well.
There's one to Mariam.
Yes, of course. Definitely. I have no doubts about it. So, guys, there you go. Another random art studio out of the way. Right, guys, we got to go now. Take care. See you in a bit. And that brings us to the end of today's show. Hope you guys have enjoyed all the wonderful things we talked about on our show. If you have any other suggestions of items, subjects, topics that you'd like us to cover, you know the email address. What is it, Atika?
info@iqra.tv.
info@iqra.tv. Guys, have yourselves a wonderful iftar. See you soon. Take care.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to IQRA Kids TV, Ramadan Special.
Oh, there he comes. Please,